All right. Uncle Carl's back, checking up on my worms here. It's March 31, so end of March. Um, I haven't been feeding five bins, so three of the bins I've been have been feeding them. Last I fed them was middle of March or so. So I'm trying to get those castings ready to be sifted. So haven't fed them, but I did feed bin one and five, and see how they're processed. Hopefully, bins two, three, and four are well processed so that I can actually be able to sift them and harvest good quality castings. So if they're not ready, they're, let's say they're too wet, they're just not ready. You can't sift them. So and you can't sift the worms, most of the worms. So we're gonna check up on them, see how they're doing. March 31. Um, let's find out. All right, so we're at bin one. So this is my newest bin. So let's check up on it. I added more cardboard. They're on the drier end, so I'm prepared to add water. Okay, well, it's mostly dry. This is I didn't put food on this end, so that's just giving them space, the worms to travel. Most of the worms should be here because this is where I've been feeding them. The other bins, not too sure about adding water, so we have to check the moisture because I'm trying to let it dry out. So I don't want it to be, don't want to add more water. I'm not sure what this is. Hard, some type of seed. Okay, so this area is processing. I can feel that the cardboard are decomposing, and I see ample worms on this end since the last feeding. Well, there's a good mix of castings already on this end. Don't recall, probably avocado. Okay, it's a little bit wet there. So what I'm going to do, dump a little bit of dry material. Okay, banana. I feel corn, banana there. Man. Okay, so it's a little bit on the wetter side right here. It's good to see that there's castings being deposited on this end because this is where they're fed. Okay. Let's push some drier paper there. Then move these back in. See some unfinished bananas there. And the smell is quite pungent coming from those bananas. Kind of like, well, you know, when they're rotten like bananas are, they turn into a vinegar quality. Matter of fact, there's something called banana vinegar. Using bananas to ferment, so the smell is it's fermented. Okay. Okay. So get that covered up, get these covered up. Last time I checked this bin, there were worms that were actually what do you call it, breeding. So I did find some worms that were joined, you know, they're copulating and stuff. So there is a boom of worms. I mean, I haven't added any more worms since I first created this. You know, I've dropped maybe a couple hundred worms on here from my bin 5. And you know, I want to add more as I sift from one of my bins, like bin 2, 3, and 4. But let's see how they're doing. My goal was to actually sift today, end of the month. But let's see how they're doing. I might be able to do it. But, I need to see the status of 2, 3, and 4. If not, I can wait till the middle of April. Going out of town anyway for a couple weeks. So I mean, I can wait till then. Okay. So what I'm going to do, since the paper is you know, maybe a little damp, it's not damp, that's not moist enough. So I'm going to add some water. Okay. Just hang on. Not doing anything fancy here. I mean, you can use a cup of water, a bottle of water. I got this water thing, plant thing specifically, because it distributes the water with that spigot thingy more evenly. Go ahead and add some water. When I added the cardboard here, I added a canister full of water like this, and then mixed it up by hand. It's too dry, and when the material's too dry, you're not going to have the microbes booming to decompose the brown material. I mean, this is carbon. You know, they're you know, all paper products originated from trees, right? So that's why they're carbon browns, as we call them. Okay, just distribute that water so they'll be moist enough. All right, that does it for bin number 1. You know, so most of the foods are here, whatever leftover foods. So on this end, so purpose of that for me is, so as worms are here, so when worms are full or whatever, they can travel on that end to, I guess, relax and eat those. Okay, eat the brown material. And sometimes also when you have food, the food as they decompose, they say they get hot. You know, they get hot. I mean, I've heard of like grass, for example. When you have green grass, freshly cut grass, you put them in a mound, they get hot. So something similar with nitro-rich foods. You know, as they decompose, they get too hot. So it allows the worms to escape that hotness to somewhere where it's not as hot, and you know. All right, so this has been 1. Let's check out the other bins. And also, unfortunately, sometimes with bananas, there's gnats here. So cover them up a little bit better. Cover them up so that the bugs, you know, stays minimal. Okay, that's the plan. Okay, bin 1. Okay, so here we are, bin number 2. So these is one of the bins that I'm trying to dry out so that we can harvest them. Okay, pumpkin. It was just right there. So that means there was carbon material. You know, this was buried. So the carbon material that was on top of it had been processed, decomposed, and been eaten by worms. So that's why this was overly exposed like this. And there's a lot of gnats in this area. So it's a lot of it's coming from here. So let's check out why. Well, this is good stuff right here. Consistency wise of the castings here. Dry at the little bit dry at the top, but that's fine. At the bottom, still a little bit on the moist end, so you know, a little bit moist, a little bit too moist to sip it. Man, look at what is this? An old potato. There's a lot of worms here. A lot of worms. So I need to fluff them, till them, whatever you want to call them. We call them fluff. So we want to aerate the castings. There's a lot of old paper. You know, I'm just really disappointed that these materials here still hasn't been fully consumed, because I put them there a long time ago before I really consistently shredded my paper products, cardboard and so forth. So just that's why it's important to shred them, because when you this is plastic. So when you shred them, you know, they come out in small pieces, and you're introducing more square area of the material to decompose by bacteria, and then as they decompose, they're eaten much faster. So it's really helpful to shred them so that they can be, you know, the breakdown will be much faster, and make the, you know, we can produce more castings that way. Okay. Now, the other day I was at Costco, and I should have just, this was kiwi. I should have went ahead and bought another one of those yellow bins that I have. They're like 33 gallons. And could have just transferred all of this without even sifting, transferred all that so there's a bigger area, and produce more paper products, let it dry out faster. So that was a missed opportunity. As far as food, there's not a whole lot here. Not a whole lot. Just needs more time to decompose. Potatoes are growing. So they just really need a little bit more time. And the material drop to dry out. Or maybe I need to introduce more carbon. This is what I'm going to do. I've been using this to just lay on top of this the compost, the bins laying on top, kind of like a simple cover, because you don't want to use hard plastic to cover it without the holes in the lid, because they can't breathe. It'll create more moisture, and they'll try to, of course, try to escape. So they do need air. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and just use this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break it apart by hand into smaller pieces and bury it, so it'll help absorb the moisture from this and decompose and be consumed. All right, be right back. All right, so I just broke these up into smaller pieces. Now we're gonna do, this is still whole, so add it there, and then we're gonna just cover it up with the cardboard. Okay, and hopefully it'll absorb the moisture and help the drying process better. If I only had the space to actually grow potatoes outdoors, I would try it, because they seem to be thriving. Okay, that broke apart as I was lifting, but again, these material, man, they're still like, still there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to just lift them up so that we can aerate the rest of this bin, because this material's been at that bottom for quite a while. I don't know if it's been the whole of 2023, entire 2023. And if it has, that's just a long time. Some of these worms are thick. I mean, there'll be, shoot, some might have crawled in there. No. I've been planting some stuff outdoors, you know, my little garden, like actual plants like succulents. I'm a fan of jades, those regular jades, dwarf jades. So I have a collection I'm trying to grow. There's been some that I've been, you know, because I had to cut them, propagate them, and so propagate meaning cuttings and putting them in their own small pot. Some of them, the more recent ones, they don't have castings mixed in, so they're just using the succulent plant mix that I buy from the garden stores. And typically I like to mix in, you know, a good half to be compost, but I don't have enough. Okay, so what is here at the bottom? You can see these are thick. Clitellum is thick, so they probably have cocoons, eggs inside there. So food-wise, at the bottom end of this, haven't been able to introduce any, because the paper products were on top of that pile. to absorb food that I put on top of them. They're absorbing the liquids. But these worms are, this one's healthy, nice and thick for being red worms. Nice and thick. This one's a little bit on the immature end. Another one, nice and thick clitellum there. And there's a cocoon. Okay, so we've aerated this area here. Long overdue. Okay. What is this? Paper. I mean, aside from these larger pieces, which are taking a long time to decompose, I haven't introduced much paper here at all. So you guys need to dry up. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put a paper on top like I normally do. Cardboard, additional cardboard. Let them dry out. I mean, let it be exposed, I guess. So that'll force the worms to go deeper because they don't want the sunlight. But this room is pretty dark. There's no windows here, so when the lights are off, they'll be covered. So. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do with this one is have no lid. No, because that cardboard was serving as a lid to cover them up. So this top area should dry out much faster, being exposed to air. But the worm population seems to be good. I mean, there's a lot. Compared to bin 1, you saw that most of them were on this end where the food was. And that end, all paper. Okay, this is it for bin number 2. Okay, so bin number 3. So this bin is showing a lot of gnats. A lot of gnats. And these bugs here. So after this, I'm moving them away. So from that area, I'm going to vacuum with my shop vac. Pick up whatever debris are there, some of the stuff. Okay, but check this out. If we try to zoom in, I mean, this right here, I mean, this is pretty siftable. I can sift this material. It's good enough. That's where we want them, especially at the top. That's good quality right there. But I'm gonna wait. Oh, once you get to the bottom, a little bit deeper, it's a little bit damp, so it's good to aerate it. Let's get in there. We still have food here. Yeah, I mean, I haven't fed this since maybe the second week of March. But man, whoa. These guys are healthy. Nice and thick, these ones are. But with this one, So this end hasn't had food introduction in what, 2 weeks or so, at least 2 weeks. I'm trying to get them to dry out. That's far from it. Too damp. I'm gonna have to do some drastic stuff. I'm gonna have to introduce some more shredded paper products so help this dry out. Okay, so while I'm aerating them, I'll add shredded paper. All right, because it's too moist. Okay, be right back. All right, so I've added actually all my shredded material onto that end, and I've mixed them up. So this is the last of the material I have. So I've already started at the bottom, added some, put some of the moist castings on top of it and mix it up by hand. So this is the last batch. Let's do that. Put it on this end to dry out. And then just by hand mix it in. Kind of like dough, because that's what the consistency feels like. Okay. Need to get them to dry out. Damn. Get them to dry out. Okay. There we go. I mean, it's heavy like dough because it's muddy in consistency. It's not what we want. It's just not good. You can't sift them. They're that material. Okay. This will do it. And then I'll concentrate on, I'm off today, so I'm going to shred my cardboard that I have a pile of them. So instead of throwing them out to be recycled at the curb outside, shred them and I'll put them in here. And then they're processed into castings, Pull that up because I do have an infestation of gnats. Okay. So what you guys will do, you'll dry out this on top. And there's a pile of new shredded material at the bottom and mixed in at the top. So hopefully when I check on this in the middle of April, there's a much different story, ready to harvest when I come back from out of town. All right, bin 3. But once these are harvested, it's, one of the big positives about this bin, much like bin 2, is that the worms are very, very dense, spread out. So a ton of worms here. And when I do that, I need to put them in those new 33-gallon bins, so I'll have more square footage to work with, a little bit deeper, wider. Okay, and they're very, very healthy, nice and thick. All right, this will do it for this bin. Alrighty, bin 3. Alright, so we're finished with bin 3, so this is bin 4. Last time I checked, this was showing a lot of promise to be sifted. And oh, there's still food here. So this is the area where I last introduced food, was it's a turnip. Okay, well, food-wise, there's still plenty. So I'm not going to disturb this section of it, this end. This is where I did the feedings. Alright, so let's focus on that. Plastic. This area I was trying to dry out. Piece of a mango, the mango husk. Even more plastic over there. Okay. Plastic. So when I did this last, it feels like a lot of the paper products that I had in here has decomposed and processed. But it could use several handfuls of fresh cardboard to help dry this area out. So I guess I'm gonna add some more. I'm gonna do some shredding. That's gonna take a minute to shred. And I'll come back to this one later. Add more to help absorb the moisture and produce carbon and faster breakdown. More plastic pieces there. Okay, this will do it for now for this bin. Still food here, got a long ways to go, but this area needs to be mixed with more cardboard. Okay, check on bin 5. Okay, so this is my bin 5-gallon container here. Check them out. Look at this guy. This worm. It's above average size. Length, girth, doing all right in this bin. So this is my second bin that I last introduced feedings. And also during that time I added more shredded paper because there was the liquid from the decomposing foods that I introduced seeped in here, so I added fresh shredded paper. So this was a clump. Break that up. banana. Okay. Okay, that's where they are. Get that banana, put it there. Ooh. Mush. Mush. Introduce some more brown material here. Okay. So at least the paper products here, it's moist and it feels like it's in a stage of being decomposition. So that way they'll get eaten right away. I'm not gonna add any more food. They still have some. Just needs more time. Right there. Yeah, Ben's doing all right. Just needs more time. You could use some more carbon to mix in here because the carbons I added seems like being processed already, and they're a high moisture content. And I added a considerable amount last time I checked on them. You know, that liquid coming from the foods, they call that leachate. You know, when you know, a banana, orange, whatever decomposes, there's liquid. That's why you want carbon at the base of that to absorb it. So if I didn't have enough to absorb it, and it spread out, and added more carbon to absorb that material. But if I had holes in this bin, it would leak out, make a mess. You know, that stuff you can just control by introducing more carbon. Okay, the bin's doing well. We'll just add some more material here. Okay, this does it for these bins. Okay, not quite ready. All right, so I went through all 5 bins, and they're showing some promise, especially bins 2, 3, and 4 with the density of the worms. That's very promising. That means they're reproducing at a good rate. You know, the food definitely helps. But bins 4 and 5 need more paper. Bins 3, you saw me add paper, so I'll add 3 and 4 off camera. Do that, and then I'm gonna clean up my area. I'm gonna run my shop vac. Okay, that does it. And I'll check back with these guys middle of April when I get back in town, and hopefully they're in be much better state as far as being able to sift bins 2, 3, and 4. Stay tuned.